I'm Madelyn Hickey. I am from New York. I have been coming down to Sanibel my whole life. I actually grew up in Bronxville, which is where Bruce lived before he moved down to Sanibel and started the C School. And he was my mom's yoga teacher. And so I just had been coming down to Sanibel my whole life because my great-grandparents actually built a house down here. And so as soon as he moved down and started the C School, I was 9. And so I started attending the C School, and I've been with it ever since. I was a counselor in training, a senior counselor in training, and I'm still here. So I'm in college right now. I'm at College of Charleston in South Carolina, majoring in marine biology. So obviously the C School has had a huge impact on my life. And I can't wait to graduate with a marine bio major. I've done so much in marine biology, not only with the C School, but with a bunch of different organizations, but the C School is the one that stuck. And like it's what made me find marine bio and what made me just fall absolutely in love with the ocean. So that's how I found it. The Sanibel Sea School is a nonprofit organization that aims to create an awareness of the ocean and its needs and the different ecosystems in the ocean to little kids and even CITs. I find myself like learning something new every day I'm here. But it really uses Sanibel and the resources in Sanibel. Obviously, we're a block from the beach, so it focuses on like creating this awareness through field studies. So you will study, say, I don't know, a crab, and go out to Bunch Beach and actually get to see fiddler crabs. So it's like really focusing on being in the classroom, learning about the organism or the topic of study in the classroom through lecture. A little more fun than lecture, but then you go out and you find these animals or you find their ecosystem that they're living in. You're not always guaranteed to find an octopus, but we have been lucky. So it's the best kind of learning. It's not like you won't have to come to school. Like kids are so excited to be here. I was so excited to be here as a little kid, and it just really helps to create like this awareness of the ocean, and I find that the amount of people that this C School has impacted, I know some of my friends are even majoring in marine bio from here, and so it makes a difference in our lives, and it makes a difference that the future of our ocean, because so many of these kids are going and studying it, so which I hope to do. Okay, well, every day is a little different, but what we usually do is you'll get dropped off here as a child, and you will be welcomed by an array of CITs. So we'll all be in this room, and we have a lot of different activities that we first greet you by. So it might be slapjack, or it might be looking at the different fish in the different aquariums that we have, or it might be reading a book or just puzzles. So then once everyone's here, you gather up in a circle, have either a name game if it's the first day, or just start to learn about what you're going to study that day. And so say you are studying fish that day, just like a really general topic, you'll start to learn about where they live, what they are, everything about their ecosystem, everything about their life cycle. And then after you have your little lecture, you'll go out to one of the beaches that we go to, and you will seine maybe, which is the cast or the seine nets. You might cast net, so you're just catching fish. And some of them we bring back here, and kids get really excited when they get to put them in our little aquariums. Or we will just put them back in the ocean. There's a lot of different activities we might play, like capture the fish instead of capture the flag and stuff like that on the beach. So after we have our morning, one of my favorite things when I was little that we would do all the time in the morning is go pick up trash on the sand that was like in our beaches near here, and I mean, Sanibel is like a really clean area, so, and it's naturally protected, so it's really aiming to like have clean beaches, but even the cleanest beach has so much trash. And so we are really focusing on like just having a competition between different groups who can collect the most trash. And you find so many things. Like you will find cigarette butts to like little pieces of plastic to like sunglasses that someone left behind or like bottles. And so by the end of it, you look at your beach when you go out there and you think it's really clean, but then you come back with these buckets full of trash. And that really has stuck with me. Like I can't go to the beach without picking up trash because it's just like in my mind now. It's like ingrained there, which is good, I guess, because we're helping our ocean. But then after our morning, we usually come back and have lunch out back. And that's always really fun. You get to like meet different people. And then in the afternoon, normally we go surfing. Surfing for me wouldn't really be standing up, but some of the little kids get up there and they get so excited, which is really cute. And at the end of the week, we'll have like a surf competition, which is really fun. But yeah, you just like do a lot of activities on the beach. It's 90% of it is out there. It's in the field. And sometimes like you'll have a special topic where you'll actually get to go out on the boat or something. I mean, I've been with Bruce with so many of the teen programs too. So I've gotten to travel to the Keys and the Bahamas with him, and I just like, I can't stop. It's so much fun, and I just absolutely love learning about it. Well, one, the trash thing. I literally always pick up trash, and I don't know, my friends are just like, what are you doing? But it's just ingrained there. And why is it absolutely crazy how much trash is in our ocean, and no one really understands that, because like I said, you could go to a beach and it could look clean on the outside, but there are so many like little particles. I just did like my final in geology on trash or pollution in the ocean, and I watched this video and I was absolutely blown away because they went out to one of the islands in the Pacific and were picking up trash from the beaches, and they spent like hours cleaning just like 100 yards of this beach, and it was like so clean once they finished. And then the guy told the cameraman to come with him to the shoreline, and with every wave were these like tiny bits and pieces of plastic, and he was like, there's nothing you can do. With every single wave comes more and more trash, and so it is just everywhere in our ocean. So that's one thing that I'm like really passionate about, and I've like found so many different ways that like I myself can kind of fix like my own life. Like there a lot of face wash and like shampoo and conditioner has like this little plastic particle, and it's used just as an exfoliant. But when I read that like it kills plankton because it's like they mistake it for food, and it's everywhere in the ocean, I threw out so many of my body products because I was just like, I can't use this, it's going into our ocean. And so it's like little things like that just like you're more aware. And I think that some of my favorite memories at the Sea School have like definitely been when like a little kid is like, I want to study the ocean when I'm older, and like that was me. So it's really cool to like come back and like see that cycle, and I think that this is like making a huge difference in people's lives because they're just going on, and we're gonna help to save our ocean, and Bruce is doing such an incredible thing, and so I hope that's what I can do with my life. Okay, so I am majoring in marine biology. I am only a freshman, so right now it's a lot of core classes, but it's hard for me right now because I was just talking to Bruce about this a little bit. I feel a little disconnected from marine biology right now just because of all these like core requirements, but I am hoping this summer I got into a program. I actually wrote my essay about how Sea School has like really changed me as a person, and just like how I've realized like how important the water is not only to me but to our world. And so I got accepted, and it goes to China and Bali, and it's actually a scuba trip in Indonesia where you are studying Yeah, so I am currently almost doing what's kind of up in the air. I might do a program in Bali in Indonesia, and that's studying ecology and coral reef ecology, which is actually the area of study that I really want to go into because I am in love with coral reefs. If I could, I would spend the rest of my life on a coral reef. But so hopefully that program will work out, and I definitely would not have applied for it if I had not had my experience like with the Sanibel Sea School, especially with the trips that we've done, like where we've like studied. I mean, I've been snorkeling since I was like 9 or 10 here, and then just with so many trips, I've gotten like pretty good at it, and so I like want to take it a step further and like get my scuba license. And I was actually like meeting with my advisor, and she's so impressed by like my experience with the Sea School, and so I think that'll really help me when I'm like looking for research opportunities at school, like with professors, because it kind of gives you a leg up if you've done research. I mean, I've been here with Bruce, and it's not like really intensive research because I obviously started as a little kid, but like we've done a lot of stuff where like maybe we've gone out on the boat and like looked at red tide under the microscope. And I mean, in the Bahamas, we did a ton of research, which was like, we mapped a reef. So that was really cool. And so I've had like little bits of experience. I did a program through Woods Hole, which is the oceanographic institution. And so, I mean, I had Bruce like write my recommendation for that. And I lived in California we sailed from San Francisco to Catalina, and we were studying oceanography and marine ecology, which is really cool. So I've done a ton of programs, and like I hope to do a lot in the future. But marine biology, obviously, the whole thing started here, and I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have the Sea School, because I would have never really like fallen in love with the ocean like I did. All my friends know about it. Like all my friends know who Bruce is. It's really funny. Even like my college friends who I've known for a few months are like, "Oh, you're going to Sea School for break." So it's obviously a huge part of my life, and I can't wait to work with it more in the future. And I am so blessed that it has been in my past, because I honestly would not be who I am without the Sea School. Everyone needs to know about the ocean, one way or the other. It is 75% of our world, which is so, like, people just don't comprehend that. And like, because obviously we are land animal, so we are always on land, and some people are landlocked, so they might not understand like how big of a part our ocean is. You need to know about it though. We focus so much on like different topics like that are obviously so important, but marine biology is like, it's so vast and so undiscovered that it makes me kind of crazy when people don't really know that much about our ocean. And I think that kids need to go, because especially kids on Sanibel, like I am so happy when we have campers that live on Sanibel, because it just rocks. Like then they're going out to their ocean, like that's literally their backyard, and they're knowing so much about I absolutely love when I have like little kids like telling their parents like, "Oh, this is a coquina. Oh, this is a," like, it's so cool, because then they know, and like they know all about like just the ecosystems that are literally like 20 feet out there. Like it just is so hidden, you know, because it's just like this magic carpet on top of it, and like no one can see under. And so I think that marine biology really needs to be taught more to people, just because we have so much to discover. And that's kind of one of the most exciting and appealing things to me, is that like I just have so much that is like a mystery, and so I can like dive in and just like kind of discover our own new world. And like honestly, that's what I really think it is. It's a whole new world down there, and like people really need to know about it. And so that's why I think your kids should come to the Sea School, just because they need this awareness. Well, in so many ways. I have never been happier when I'm down there, and that may be so weird, but it's just like it clicks when I'm underwater, like where I can't breathe, of course. But something about it, I've just like, am down there, and especially when I'm at a coral reef, we went on a vacation to Anguilla this past summer, and we were like staying on a reef basically, and so I just like go out every day and snorkel every day, and my mom like pulled me aside. She goes, I have never seen you this much like in your element. Like, I can't even believe that you are so happy right now. I actually, when I was in Anguilla, this is like a really embarrassing, but it kind of like shows how much the water means to me, story. But there's this fish, and it is like the size of a pea pod. It is so small, and it's a juvenile. It's called a juvenile trunkfish, and it has been like my dream to see it. Like, it's so cute. It literally is like a little polka dotted fish, and the adults are gorgeous, and they're like everywhere on reefs. So I was like, oh my gosh, one time I have to see this fish. So before we went to Anguilla, I got a GoPro, because I was like, I just wanted to like take footage of when I'm underwater or whatever. And Bruce was like, nice try trying to find this fish. And so I was on a hunt, and I never ever thought I would see it. And I kind of like gave up that I would ever see it like a few years ago, because I always wanted to when we were in the Keys. And so I saw like this gorgeous like rack of coral, and I was like, oh, might as well dive down and like video it. And I was just snorkeling, so I like couldn't stay underwater for like a really long time. And I dove down with the GoPro like filming, and all of a sudden I was like face to face with this fish, and it is so small, and I have this photo, and like no one can like barely see it. I had to like put an arrow where it was, but the video is literally me coming up from seeing this fish and just like screaming and like coming down in tears. I was so excited, and I just have never been so happy, and it was like because of a fish. But I don't know, it's something that's so like magical being underwater. It's just like I get to observe this whole other world that's happening that's just like so carefree, and obviously not carefree when there's like predators and stuff, but I don't know, there's just like something that when you can't really like listen to anyone, and you're just like listening to like maybe parrotfish that are like chewing on the coral, or just like, I don't know, it's so quiet, but if you really listen, there's so much going on, and it's so cool. Like the fact that there are like fish that are that small, like there's just so much out there. And I don't know, the ocean has made like a huge impact in my life. I like come down to Sanibel like 5 times a year, and because my grandparents live here, and so I've been really blessed that like I'm always at the beach, and now I go to Charleston, which is 10 minutes from the beach. So I'm just so happy when I'm like near the water, and it makes me feel like complete almost, like I found my niche, and like I need to use this and like actually dedicate my life to studying it. And I don't want to just dedicate my life to study it. I want to dedicate my life to teaching other people about it too. And that's what the Sea School has really taught me, because I don't want to just go and like do research. I want to go do research and then tell people about it. And I want to tell kids about it, because I think that having this like base for me when I was little of like discovering the water and like being able to cultivate it right now into like an almost career, that's what's made a huge difference in my life. Ocean love is being able to walk on the beach, find a shell, know what that shell is, and being able to tell people about it, because that is the coolest thing. When you have this knowledge of just like the simplest thing, like when I'm just like walking on the beach with my nanny or something, and she sees it, or she like points to something and I know what it is, that is the greatest feeling of satisfaction, being able to like teach someone about it. And whether it's like sea pork or like a sea hare or something, she is always like so excited about it, and she always gets like a crowd of people around, and I feel like I'm teaching a class. And so I think ocean love is like really just knowing what you're talking about, and like knowing enough about the water to be able to tell other people about it, because I think knowledge is power, and I think that like through our knowledge of the ocean, like we can actually make a difference. And so that's what I'm aiming for.
Okay, last question.
Yes.
If you were to be reborn as a sea creature, which one would you be and why? Preface the answer with the question. If I were to be a sea creature, I would be this.
Okay.
Because.
Okay. Well, my favorite sea creature is the mahi. I absolutely am obsessed with those fish. I think they are so stunning, but they're really like widely fished. So I don't know if I would want to be a mahi. I think that I would love, if I were a sea creature, I would love to be like a whale shark. They're so big and so cool, and they just kind of get to chill out like in the water all the time. But maybe not. Maybe I'd want to live at a coral reef because they're so cool. I don't know. I feel like I'd be a lot of things. Yeah, no, I probably would want to be like some type of shark. I love sharks. So just because they're awesome and they have really cool lives. They get to like swim all over and on all types of ecosystems. So yeah, I'd be a shark. I don't know. Study the ocean. Like, love the ocean. Be a steward to the ocean, because we are what's making a difference and we are what's hurting the ocean. And so I think that we have this huge responsibility and this huge power, even though the ocean is like so incredibly powerful, like we're really determining its future. And so like as cliche as this is sounding, like, because I feel like people just know that they should like be a steward to the water or be a steward to the environment, but like they don't really understand like the huge impact that one person can make. Like, I don't know, go through your cabinet and throw out your face wash that is like killing plankton, like do stuff like that, because even like the littlest difference is made. Like, bring a plastic bag to the beach and pick up trash. It's really not that hard, and like it makes a difference for those animals that are using that beach. Like, we are invading their space. Like, this is our whole world. Like, it's the animals' world too. And like, I think that people really need to understand that we are all living on the same planet and we all have different impacts on the planet, but the fact that our ocean is so big, like, learn about it, love it, and then like really make an effort to save it and do your part. Like, everyone has a part and we can make change. So okay, well, there's two things I'm going to say, but it's going to be like one story. So we were sitting in this room, and it was just the counselors and the counselors in training with Bruce, and we were all told to say our 3 favorite boat rides ever, our 3 favorite boat rides. And the 3 boat rides that Bruce said, I'd been on every single one of them. And so the one that I think is the most incredible was we were in the Keys. I was probably 13 or 14, and we were going out to the open water where we had heard that there were mahi, and because Bruce had seen them before, and there was like a styrofoam cover to like one of those ice box things, that the cooler, and that he had like saw, and that was our marker. We were going back there. And so as we were like traveling out from the reef, a huge mako shark like almost kind of brushed up against our boat, which was so cool to see. And I love sharks, but that was the first time that I kind of got a little freaked out by a shark because it was huge. But then we got to our little styrofoam box thing top and dove into the water, and there was a huge school of mahi, and like, they are my favorite fish. And so I probably cried then, and I was only 13. But that was a huge like moment for me, that I was just like, no, I'm doing this. I'm definitely doing this as a career. Like, I knew when I was little and I was like 9, 10, 11, like I always told my mom that I was going to study the ocean. And when I got this experience, like snorkeling with Bruce, I was like, no, this is what I'm doing. So I think that experience for me was like when I really figured it out as like personally, and it was just so life-changing for me because it was so cool to see all of them just swimming there, so beautiful. The water has never been so blue. It was like cobalt blue. It was so gorgeous, and so that was my favorite moment.